right, let's get right into it. Today, we're doing more than just solving a GCSE maths problem. We're gonna crack the examiner's code. We're taking a typical question and breaking it down piece by piece to show you exactly how and where every single mark is awarded, so you know precisely how to get them. Let's go. So here's our game plan. We'll kick off with the challenge itself, a quadratic graph question. Then we'll tackle part A, filling in that table and, crucially, see how it's marked. After that, we'll do the exact same thing for part B, drawing the graph, and we'll finish up with the key things you need to remember to walk away with full marks. The question we're pulling apart today is question 5 from our higher tier paper. It's a two-parter all about plotting a quadratic equation, which, as you know, is a real classic, a staple of the GCSE syllabus.
Okay, here it is. Part A asks us to complete a table of values, and Part B wants us to draw the graph based on that table. The whole thing is worth 4 marks, and our mission? To make sure we get every single one.
First up, Part A, completing the table of values. This bit is all about being accurate with your calculations. You've got to get this right because it's the foundation for everything that comes next. The equation we're playing with is y equals x squared minus 2x minus 3. This is the rule we have to follow for every single missing value in that table. Let's walk through a tricky one together, when x equals minus 2. Honestly, this is where so many people trip up, handling negative numbers. So you substitute minus 2 into the equation, you get y equals, in brackets, minus 2 squared, minus 2 times minus 2, minus 3. Now remember, a negative number squared becomes a positive, so that's a plus 4. Then minus 2 times minus 2 is also a plus 4. So you end up with 4 plus 4 minus 3, which gives us 5. So here's the table as it appears on the exam paper. You can see they've given us a couple of values to get us started, but we need to figure out the y values when x is minus 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And voila! After crunching the numbers for each value, this is our completed table. The missing numbers are 5, minus 4, minus 3, 0, and 5. Quick pro tip. See that symmetry in the y values? You've got 5 on both ends, 0 next, then minus 3. That's a fantastic little check to know you're on the right track with the parabola. So we've got the correct numbers, but how do they actually turn into marks? Right? Let's pull back the curtain and look at the official mark scheme. This is how you get inside the examiner's head. And the mark scheme is super clear. It says B2 for all 5 correct values. That B just stands for an accuracy mark. It's simple, really. Get all 5 of those numbers right, you get 2 marks. Done. But what if you make a tiny mistake? Do you lose everything? Nope, there's a safety net. The mark scheme also says you can get B1 for at least 2 correct values. So if you only get, say, 2 or 3 or even 4 of them right, you still bag 1 mark. It just goes to show you should always fill in as much as you possibly can. Okay, table complete. Time to move on to part B, drawing the graph. This is where we take all those numbers and turn them into a picture. The process here is actually pretty straightforward. You just take each pair of x and y values from your table, like minus 2, 5, or minus 1, 0, and you treat them as coordinates. Each pair becomes a single dot you're going to plot on the grid. Once you've got all 7 points plotted, the last step is to join them up, and this is absolutely crucial. You have to draw a smooth, continuous curve, that classic U shape called a parabola. Please, whatever you do, don't connect them with a ruler like it's a dot-to-dot puzzle. The examiner is looking for that smooth curve. You've plotted your points, you've drawn your curve, so how does this get marked? Let's dive back into the mark scheme for the last 2 marks. And just like with the table, the instruction is really direct. B2 for a fully correct graph. This means all your points need to be plotted in the right place and joined up with that nice smooth curve. You do that, and boom, you've got all 4 marks in the bag. But hang on a second. What if you made a mistake back in part A? What if your table has some wrong values in it? Does that mean you automatically get 0 for the graph? No, absolutely not. And this brings us to one of the most important student-friendly concepts in any exam. It's this idea of follow-through marks. You'll often see it written as FT on a mark scheme. Think of it as a lifeline. It means that even if you used your own wrong numbers from part A, but you did the next step correctly, which in this case is plotting your points correctly, you can still get credit. The examiner literally follows through from your mistake. Here is the exact wording from the mark scheme. It says you can get 1 mark, that's a B1, on a follow-through basis for plotting at least 5 points correctly from your table. So even if your table is wrong, as long as you accurately plot the numbers you came up with, you'll still get a mark. They're rewarding you for showing the right skill even if you started with the wrong numbers. It's a real game changer. Right, we've taken the question apart, we've decoded the mark scheme. Let's quickly summarize the essential strategies to make sure you absolutely nail this type of question every single time. Okay. Number 1, double, even triple check your calculations with negative numbers. It's the biggest pitfall. 2, plot each coordinate pair from your table really carefully. 3, join the dots with a smooth curve, not ruler lines. And maybe the most important one of all, always attempt the graph even if you have a bad feeling about your table. Remember the awesome power of follow-through marks.
And that is how you secure all 4 marks. See? By understanding how it's marked just as well as you understand the maths, you can be so much more strategic. So now that you've seen inside the mind of the examiner, I'll leave you with this question. Where will you focus your attention to make sure you don't lose those simple marks?